Today, I wanted to try something completely different than what we would normally do. Normally, we're using these meme combos or, just seeing how viable certain things are. Instead, I'm tired of sucking and my goat Peepa frozen going through a rough patch. So I figured I would look up to see what all of the world record combos are in this game. And I want to try them all online and see how viable these are. And I don't know about you guys, I like to just watch the world records quite a bit. I think it's pretty fun, not only just seeing the new strategies of what certain tracks do and shortcuts that exist, but I also just like seeing what's even viable. When Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was the first game that I really played a lot of that allowed that customization of your vehicles, I really liked seeing all the differences that you could make, or at least I figured you could make. A lot of people were still playing Yoshi Teddy Buggy, which was a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping there'd be a lot more diversity. But in this game, for whatever reason, even though you're not able to customize the vehicles, there's such a big character discrepancy. I don't know if you've looked, and I'll include some beautiful charts I made on the graph, might I say, because I found it interesting that Swoop Robhog is by far what you will see dominate in this game if you play online or literally any game mode. You can go in worldwides and there's going to be a ton of Swoop Robhogs. I think this Discord's one of the only that doesn't have a ton because people like to be free thinkers. But Swoop Robhog makes up such a minute percentage of the world records in this game. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I'll have to look in between races because I already crunched all the numbers to have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But I was absolutely astounded at how few people are using Swoop Robhog. It's actually ridiculous. Let's see if we can just survive that. Okay, well, we at least saved that right there at the end. That was a bad shock. We got squished by that Mega. Not too pleased with the 20th, but I was yapping and going on for a while. So I'm hoping in the next race or two we can get settled in with sharing all the info, get some fire races. Race number 3 of this GP. We're on race number 2 here. As I was saying before, there's such a diversity in the combos. And I guess when I say diversity, it's similar stats that are dominating, but that's not Swoop Robhog. So when I looked at it and I did the numbers, 43% of this game's world records are done with heavyweights, which are basically all Wiggler and Wario. And I'll let you look at the mini-map really hard. Let me know if you see a Wiggler or a Wario. I don't really see one because I'm, doing really cool tricks right there. I'm not able to look, but I could not believe it. If you play Mario Kart Wii, it's all Funky Kong Flame Runner world records. And then when you join Worldwide, that's also all it is. It's Funky Kong Flame Runner. So I couldn't believe that there's this big of a difference between the popular characters and what's actually used in the world records, which is especially strange to me because the tech in this game is a much higher skill level than compared to any of the past games, at least for the almost 15, 20 years. 8 Deluxe did not require this many advanced techniques on certain tracks. Obviously, 8 Deluxe, it more so accumulated in minute saves here and there that a higher level player would be able to do that. Someone who's just starting the game would have no clue about how to do certain soft drifting techniques or various other Busan slides and whatnot. But so I'm using Nabbit Robhog. I also haven't explained what we're even effectively going to do. So we're going to be doing 2 different races, or 2 races each with each of the world record combos. There are 30 time trialable tracks in this game, and there are 23 unique combos. There are a few here and there that use, one uses, Wario, and one uses Wiggler on, I believe it's the B-Dasher, and that's the same stats-wise combo. But there are 23 different unique combos for 30 tracks in this game, which I find surprisingly high for how clearly dominant Swoop Robhog is online. So we're going to be doing 2 races with each. This world record is used by a Japanese player whose name I will play using Google Translate.
Atsuki.
And this is a Mario Bros. Circuit world record. So this isn't a super tech-heavy track, but it is a little something, This isn't like a DK Spaceports situation here. All right, I think we got 9th. Again, not a terrible race, I think, for having to yap and explain all that I have to explain about. But yeah, I just find that really interesting. We have some viable combos. Like, Nabbit Rob Hog is really not that bad. It's really not that different compared to what I'm used to, Peepa, or even like Swoop Rob Hog. But we're going to start to get some pretty difficult vehicles for online usage pretty soon. Here we got Wiggler Bighorn. And in the world records, they don't burn out. Don't do that. That is showing how bad this acceleration is, though. So, you know, that's actually done on purpose. And this is a bagging track. This is totally done on purpose. Who am I kidding? But jokes aside, so this combo is used on 2 different world records, which is actually not going to be super common because, as I was saying, most of these tracks are unicorns with their combos. But this combo is used on Crown City by Pluto and by Jack on Peach Stadium. And what I found quite shocking about some of these combos that I would expect that, you know, are fast but terrible handling, terrible coin curve, terrible acceleration, terrible handling, terrible everything. It's weird to me that they don't collect coins. They really, like, in some of the world records, they're just not collecting all the coins. In the Crown City one, they do collect the 20 coins, but in Peach Stadium, Jack only collects 1 coin, which is like truly insane to me. I could not believe it. I was, right before I started filming this, I was like, let me see how many coins they're collecting. Because like your main advantage with this is speed, and then you get that speed advantage if you get the 20 coins. I'm sure a lot of you know about the coin curve, either through me or just other people talking about it, because it's kind of ridiculous what Nintendo has done with that. I got so bailed out that, okay, well, that red shell didn't help me. I was hoping I could use this boo in the normal shock spot. For how high up I was, I might have actually had a decent chance. Now, nothing special, but we'll try our hardest still. But I could not believe, I thought that there would be a clear, you'd have to get the 20 coins. Like, that's how you're getting your advantage, but I don't know. I truly, I don't know. Part of why I did this video was so I'd be able to like have more of a reason to look this up, but also so if there's anyone who's smarter or more knowledgeable than me at this, and speaking of our win condition, I think that was used rather well, except that those red shells are spooking me out. Come on, go. We basically front ran Cheap Falls with Wiggler Bighorn. Notice how I got 20 coins? I might need to tell Jack about this. Like, bro's got the world record. Does he know he could get a bigger world record if he collected 20 coins? Kindest Yoshi player. All right, second race we're doing with Wiggler Bighorn, and we burnt out on the first one, so obviously it's got to work, right? But yeah, I hope it was it was clear. I will clarify. I was a little bit trolling on the end of the last race. I understand the world record a lot of the times. It's not worth going out of the way for coins on certain tracks because you'll just go so slow. You have to go so wide, and you know, not every track is like created equal. There will be tracks that are just not going to have as many coins for whatever various reasons. But that doesn't mean to me that it's not strange that you're not collecting those coins. So I don't really know. Like, a big thing with these combos is that I'm thinking you're gonna use the faster combos on tracks that you obviously need the handling on, and a lot of those tracks are gonna be tracks with a lot of like rail tricks. Like this track, you know, you have to do all of those shenanigans up on the right side to compete on this track at a high level, especially to even contend for a world record. But beyond that, you go, I believe, I'll have to look it up, but I believe your speed on the rails for all combos is like basically the same. It only depends on your coin, and it doesn't even include like your coin curve. It's just your coin count total. So I don't know, like I'm thinking like the Peach Stadiums, you know, tracks like that don't have a ton of rails, you can get away with it because you're relying more on your speed than you are you know, like this track, you're on the rail a lot, but still kind of interesting to think about. That's why I'm hoping we got some big brain people who potentially watch and know a lot about this game, who can share some of the knowledge with the class. because I'm just, we got the good items. Let's go. So yeah. This is going to end up being, I believe, I'm thinking this will end up being 4 parts. Because I'm going to do 2 races with each, and there's 23 unique combos, and I really would rather not do 46 races all in one video. So it will be broken up probably across the span of like a month or something. I'm getting trolled so hard. I knew this would be a thing. I would forget to end up changing my combo eventually. And the next one that we're actually doing is Baby Daisy Mock Rocket, which guess what track holds that world record? Whistle Stop Summit. So that was one thing. I'm going to try and hope to see if we can get the right combo on the world record track. That way we'd have all of the plot armor on the planet and like we have to win. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I was going to get like 2nd or 3rd, and then that boo was going to be the reason I'm going to lose so many spots. Okay, well, we got 5th. I wasn't even talking because I just figured that race would be dumpster fire. It really wasn't that bad. Now we're on Baby Daisy Mock Rocket. This is the Whistle Stop Summit world record combo. This is held by Jorge. If you haven't seen that world record, I would recommend watching it. That world record is absolutely insane. And I'm definitely not doing it justice by just falling off the track. But it feels nice to be back on a combo that I am much more used to, this type of mobility, being able to just move the stick and not have to, you know, it feels like there's 10 seconds of input delay if you do it with Bowser. Even Wiggler, that was a kind of bad feeling, which is insane to me. That's what I mean. It's so insane to me how awful the Wiggler feels versus how much it's used in world records, which, I mean, just shows if you're a time trialer. I mean, we're playing 2 different games. I also kind of wonder, a lot of these time trialers, how many of them, like, I would assume when they're online, you know, they're just using these lightweights or flyweights because they're just significantly better for online races, but doesn't mean that I would love to see someone who time trials, like, try and do races only, you know, with like Bowser Real Racer and just absolutely destroy everyone in the room with it. And nothing great. I think that Peepo was in that Mega at the very last second. I couldn't even realize the Peepo was so large. Like, Bro's aura, I just normally perceive him as taking up my whole screen. So, you know, it's no different than how he normally looks. Not great. We're in 8th somehow. And this is a full room, so I'm not going to complain. Of all of the tracks in this game that would need to use Bowser Real Racer, which I believe is the fastest combo in this game, this is like the only one that I can believe that needs it. All of these other tracks that are using it, so fake. Like why do you need that much speed? Like, we're not gonna use it all. We just don't need that much speed. I need my handling. It does make sense why you don't really care about acceleration in world records specifically, because like if you're getting hit, like you're not gonna get the world record. So, and it's not really too often you're pressing the B button to slow down. Like there are, you know, like if you do like the Whistle Stop Summit, like the short strat way, like you have to press the B button, and there's maybe a couple other shortcuts here and there that you need to like lightly tap the B button, but I don't, you know, it's just like acceleration goes hand in hand with everything. You know, if you're high weight, you're going to have low excel, high speed, low handling. But it's just odd to me, some of these tracks, how difficult they are with requiring this. Okay, well, this race was just depressing. There were some people, looked like that died on the right there. I guess they got hit by something. So shout outs to them for taking one for the team. Yeah, you can try and run this track. So if you were to try to run the track in that case, you would have actually, I think, done very well. It's just, I'm gambling. I'm literally gambling. We're flipping a coin. Yay, I love gambling. How am I supposed to know if there's a shock or not? I think a 24 player, it's better to just assume there's a shock, because that's just more people that can pull it. So I'm not upset with how I played that at all. I don't think that was terrible. Just a little sad that on an actually good combo for online, we didn't do that well. It is what it is, though. Time to see what I have to punish myself with next. You better love that face by the end of this video, or else you're gonna have a miserable time. I realized how bad I was being. I wasn't even choosing the world record tracks for these combos. So I unfortunately will be spamming DK Spaceport for the next 2 races. Maybe I need to get in the Discord and just like incite violence and, you know, well, okay, I take that back. Don't quote me on that. I need to incite Mario Kart Uprising to tell people that we need to choose the baby park of this game. Please don't hit me. You know, honestly, I'm okay with this. This is not... I don't do well at running this track. And if you're wondering, I'm also just not that good at this track. So funny how that works. I do think this is a better track to bag, but this, you know, this is in the same realm of how I was doing with Koopa Troopa Beach and honestly a lot of bagging tracks. I'm going to be relying on a shock, either dodging it or, you know, having it maybe be an opportune time for me, aka before one of a big item set lap 3 and hit everyone else. So we're just gonna see if we can... I really didn't get the item because of the bullet. So we're just gonna see. I'm gonna try and play for the shock because what other choice do I have? But this is... I will also specify, and I don't believe I have yet, beyond, you're gonna see this face a lot. Wario has the exact same stats as Wiggler. So if you see Wario, it's just Wiggler in a big fat suit. But this combo is also used on another track, and I will put it on the screen. I actually don't know it off the top of my head, but I know Wario B Dasher. I believe it's Bowser's Castle. So that is Bowser's Castle. This is DK Spaceport that this combo is used. I need to spam this. I've been talking too much. I might get shocked. Oh, please don't shock me. But yeah, so there's 2 different combos or 2 different tracks that use this combo in this game. Are you kidding? Get the mushroom. Okay, I have such bad Excel and we're in water, so that saves me so much time. I saw that shell and my life flash before my eyes. Get that. Can we just get a 6th? I think so. Not upset with that. Not a good track of mine. Also not a great combo, bringing me back to my Mario Kart DS days. But yeah, so it is... Let me look. This track, the world record on DK Spaceport is done by Optic with this Wiggler B Dasher, and then Bowser's Castle is the one that uses the equivalent of this with Wario Biker specifically on the B Dasher by Rai. 0 for 7 on actually getting the world record track with the world record, but I will not lose hope. We will get the 1 and we will win on that track because it is our destiny. We're using the right combo. But again, looking at my little pretty graph that I made that I'll probably keep referencing and throwing up on the screen every once in a while, Wiggler has the most it's the most used for the world records in this game. Falling off, beautiful, I get to look. Wiggler is used 7 times in this game. That is insane for the world records. How often do you see Wiggler online? You don't. So him and Wario are absolutely carrying the game, apparently. They make up for 43% of the world records in this game, which originally I kind of thought it would be Bowser that would be the one. Because if you're going to need speed, I figured you would just, you know, commit all in. But I guess Wiggler has a nice balance of, you know, speed with also usability. So, like, that actually didn't feel bad. Okay. That, oh my God. I take back every single word that I said. That didn't feel great at all. That was not really doable, that turn. I was going to fall off. Or at least it might have been doable if I had, like, known our line better. But yeah, that is nowhere near as simple as I would expect. Okay, I'm just going to do this so I can just get up here. We get decent items. Yeah, this is fine. And then we got the Mega so we can do the cut at the end. Mega can't be stolen by the boo, so I'm not going to be too worried about that. This should be minimum a decent race. If this is not minimum a decent race, either I'm the unluckiest person on the planet or I'm really bad at the game. And between the two, it's probably the second. W head bounce, thank you. I've been craving one of those. I'm just gonna use this here so I don't even have to deal with the items, and that head bounce really screwed me over. Oh my god. See, this is why you save the Mega. This is why you save the Mega. Shoutouts to whoever drove by me so I could get the essence of their mushroom. I had a feeling I was going to regret using that Mega. That head bounce, it threw me in the off-road there, which I was not expecting to head bounce. That's why I went so far to the left. And going through the snow, you're really slow on this combo and you lose all your handling. If you are able to save your power items, aka item that makes you invincible, like bullet, star, Mega, till the most chaotic part of the race, I would highly recommend it, because everyone's spamming their items there to either get to their mushrooms or just hit people because they're angry they didn't get any. I did the same thing again. I didn't change it, so probably you're gonna just see the end of this unless something really cool happens. All that for 20 seconds. Unfortunately, did not win the 1v23 for Desert Hills, but Wario does have the world record on this track with the B-Dasher. I don't really know how different this and the B-Dasher are from each other. So, again, more info for you on the screen. I don't know, but this is... I don't know. We'll see how this goes. This doesn't really feel terrible. And just to clarify, this is Desert Hills. The world record's by Jacob. Looks like he set it like a day ago as of me recording this. So pretty new, I guess, Jacob to either tapped in with Wario. I don't know. I'd have to look up the world record history. That's the other thing I'm curious to see, because this game is, like relatively new compared to obviously all the other ones, because Nintendo made us wait a decade for this game. I don't actually know if people are changing the combos and stuff and going like crazy with these world record vehicles, or if there's already kind of a meta determined. I was so scared to talk because of that triple greens. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try and look actually after this race. I might click on a couple. I'm also using that same website I always reference, Mario Kart World Records. I highly recommend, if you care about world records and are into Mario Kart, go to that website. It's so much easier than having to mess around on your Switch to see everything. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if this is like an ever-changing meta still, or if people are already pretty set in their ways of like, we gotta use the GOAT Wario on Desert Hills. Also kind of sad. I was in a pretty good spot if it wasn't for that shock. I was in like 4th with the feather there, so I was just gonna do this shortcut for free. I'm gonna fall off. I don't know if that's a copium thing of me saying I was gonna fail that, or that's a skill issue, because my timing felt a little bit off there. Like, I felt like I was going a little fast, which, I mean, this is a little bit faster than the GOAT, but that was a skill issue. I really tried, guys. No Desert Hills for us, or I guess for Wario. He looks pretty happy about it, though. But even he knows, I guess, it's not that great. But I was curious, because I've only really been talking about characters. Don't worry, I also made another beautiful pie chart just for the vehicle usage. And again, this is also what shocked me. What do you think the #1 most used vehicle would be for world records in Mario Kart World? If you're thinking it's the Raw Hog or the Mach Rocket, you are wrong. It is the Real Racer. It is the combo that, or is the vehicle that is used with Bowser to get the highest speed combo in the game. And funnily enough, it's not even all just used with Bowser. I've seen there's a Toadette Real Racer world record. So, little interesting that it is so used. It's used for 30% of the world records. Then you get Mock Rocket at 14, Baby Blooper 13, Rob Hog at 10. So they do come in second, third, and fourth, but that's only what 47%, 30. That's what 37%. That's what I get for trying to look at the graph and do math and race. But yeah, it's not even 40% of the rest of the world records in this game for combos that you see dominate online all the time. Just so strange to me. My Mario Kart Wii brain just really cannot comprehend this. It's so interesting to me how different the online meta versus the world record metas are. But we've been talking about that. Now it's time to focus on the race. Really not upset with this bullet. I'm going to use this in the obvious spot that we're all thinking after the glider. I mean, dang, that sucks. I got shocked at basically in the boxes. Couldn't even get the box, but really don't think it matters. Like, I would rather get shocked there and miss the boxes than get shocked here and miss the box. So, oh my god, I do not have enough handling to even make that turn doable. All right, I don't know if my golden is lasting long enough to... This handling, are you kidding? That was 10th, and we're getting like 16th. Oh, we got 17th. Another skill issue. You guys are all home. Not me, of course. This is not Peepa, but this has to look normal to like 90% of racers of this game. So this specific Swoop Rob Hog, this is only the world record on 2 of the 30 tracks. That is it. I thought that it would be way more. I could not believe when I saw that. Like, truly, I'm like, is this a typo? But nope. This is world record on 2 of 30 tracks in this game. That is it. I believe Rob Hog only has 3 track world records, and that is on DK Pass by Mikhail and on Shy Guy Bazaar by Japanese name that Google Translate will say.
Bochiyama.
So yeah, this is definitely some shenanigans going on with the fact that this is so used online and not otherwise. So what I'm kind of wondering is if there's actually some of these heavier combos, like, I don't know, I take back what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, I wonder if some of them are better if you're just like, it's, you know, just a more higher tolerance of how good you have to be at the game. But honestly, I don't think so, because again, if you get hit, like, you're getting hit in races like this. Look at that acceleration. That was ridiculous. Wiggler could literally never get that acceleration. So it's just like, you're not getting hit in world records. So you're like, you know, who cares about Excel? You're not using it that much, which is why it's just funny to me that Nintendo actually has done a decent job, I guess, at balancing their game, or balancing it as much as you can. Like most games, someone will find a slight little, you know, meta that's just barely better than everything else, and then everyone abuses it to oblivion. But something like Mario Kart Wii are, you know, it just shows how broken it was, because people were just using Funky Kong Flame Runner for everything. Go 5th, 6th. Let's go. Unfortunately, Swoop feeling pretty good. I hate to say it. I believe we're 0 for 14 on this, but look at that Bowser right there with the Real Racer 72S. Bro is also doing world record combos. I mean, I guess so are all the Swoops in here, but we've gone over, I think, enough stats. Time to just solely focus on the race so we get no excuses. Actually pretty happy with the star. I always like a star just because I'm able to get more items or use another item with the star at the same time. And again, a lot of those other heavier combos, I was thinking a lot about trying to get high coin totals because coin curves are really mean on those other ones if you're not getting all the coins. Like, you're not getting the big advantage of what your combo has to offer. But in a combo like this, like, I think we're about good. We're basically at the max speed increase you get with the 20 coins. Thank you. Lovely. Get out of the way. All right. This is just going to be a shock prediction. Gonna keep this final mushroom just in case I either get hit by an item or in case the boo decides to mug me. Oh, I thought I was gonna get hit by that bomb. All right. I'm not gonna even take that tight there. Bro. I'm just gonna do this to go. That's one thing I think I need to work on a lot. I'm so bad at something happens that, you know, obviously I wasn't expecting that dude to just drop a bomb right on my face. But I still shouldn't have used the star there. I don't think that was smart. I realistically kind of wanted to use it somewhere around here, and I'm probably going to end up paying for it. There's been no shock, so I guess you didn't see the full punishment in full effect. I definitely would have gotten... If I got shocked there, I would have been so upset. Especially because I already had my prediction with the star. But again, that's something else to work on. Maybe a future video idea. Use self-restraint the whole time I play the game. Impossible. But yeah, I think that will conclude this part here. I hope you guys like this idea. I don't know. I assume other people have thought of this or at least found this interesting. The fact that there are so few Swoop Rob Hog World records. So we will see you in part 2 for the next 6 vehicles that we can see in the world records.